Hi everybody, hope you can join me today to see everything that I made for the month of September. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you're new and you're stopping by to see what I've made, I actually make probably 99% of my own wardrobe. This is the Dahlia Society and my name's Kristen. If you haven't met me before, I try and upload at least twice a week to inspire all the creatives out there that are looking to make their own clothing. If you could subscribe, that would be fantastic, and I would really appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoy this episode. So what have I been making for September? I've got quite a bit here to show you. I actually had a really enjoyable month of sewing. I've made a little bit of everything here for kind of all kinds of weather because I think we are all transitioning into separate seasons. I'm down here in the southern hemisphere and we're heading into our spring season. It's starting to warm up, but I know a lot of my viewers are in the northern hemisphere and you're thinking about making some layering garments, things that are good for transitioning into that kind of cooler weather, and I think you're going to enjoy what I've got here to show you. I'm going to start off by what I'm wearing. This is a beautiful dress or top. Now, I've made this last year. It ended up on my most favorite makes for 2020. This is gorgeous fabric that was very kindly sent to me by Fabric Hunt, and Sherry that runs Fabric Hunt there has some wonderful specials on at the moment. She's got a lot of new fabric in there, and this is a Lady McElroy viscose Shelley lawn that she let me choose, which straight away it drew me to the fabric because of this wonderful print. It's a very 70s vintage inspired print. It's lovely and light and floaty, and the viscose lawn actually feels very, very different to just a pure viscose or rayon. It has got that really lovely cottony kind of texture, but it's got a lot of light drapiness like the viscose does have. So I'm really enjoying wearing this. The pattern itself was the Leela, which was from Marsha Style Patterns. Now Marsha Style, or Terry Marsh, actually lives here in Australia, and she does have a lot of fantastic looking patterns. If you haven't checked out her website, I will link all the patterns below. This top I made in the maxi dress last year, and yeah, ended up on my favorite makes. I'll pop a picture up to remind you how it looked. It's a beautiful floaty dress, and it's one that whenever I wear it out, I tend to get a lot of comments, not just from the beautiful fabric, but just that floaty, easy. It's one of my favorite styles, the whole boho vintage era. I love 70s fashion, and I just knew that this fabric had to have some kind of vintage inspired pattern to really set off that beautiful drapiness. So I went for the Leela top version. Now the dress, of course, takes quite a bit of fabric. You've got quite a few layers and ruffles there. So the top, I actually just did the plain bodice. It comes with the pattern and this beautiful sleeve. The sleeve itself is just stunning. You actually cut it on the fold, so it gives that beautiful, lovely circle drape there. And the neckline is a little tad low. Now, if it is a little low for your liking, there is actually a slip that comes with this dress. You can make the slip pattern, the dress pattern, or the actual slip cami style top. So that can be like a two-piece set. But I find it's just perfect for me. I wouldn't want it any lower, but I do like that lovely kind of rounded V shape. I think it's very, very flattering, a lovely style. One of my favorites is a low V neck. I just find it is really great on just about everybody. It just sort of opens up the neck. I don't have a long statuesque neck, and I find that a lot of high neck things kind of make me feel a little bit closed in. I just find this sort of I just really, really enjoy wearing this kind of style. I do have some little soft shoulder pads in here. I bought myself a few sets of that t-shirt style shoulder pad because I'm finding that I like to slip them in. I'll show you what they look like. Just little cotton, very, very light, small, the smallest shoulder pads you can get. I find that way It just gives me a bit of balance because I have got kind of dropped shoulders. I find that I look a little bit more balanced with a bit of a shoulder pad there. And look, I'm just sort of trialing these shoulder pads. I'm going to find my perfect ones. These are from a seller on eBay, and I just think they're great to slip in and out of different dresses. If you're wanting to sew them into your clothing, that's easy to do. And you can also even cover them in fabric and stitch them in if you're wanting to do that, or you can Velcro them, or just like me, you can slip them in or put them under your bra strap. So I just find they give me more of a kind of balanced shape. And that way it does bring up the V a little bit too. If you find it's too low, you can actually bring that V up just to make it a little bit more modest. So what I did is I made the yoke and the normal bodice, and then I added on the second tier. So I didn't add the first tier, I added the second tier, which is a little bit longer for the front and the back, and that just gave me the perfect length for a top. If I had just added the first tier on, it's a little bit shorter, and I didn't want it that crop style. I think that sort of medium or middle tier just gives it that lovely look for jeans, and I love how it dips down lower at the back. So that high-low kind of, I love that. I think it's really one of my favourite things to wear with a pair of jeans, and at the moment I'm running around with some jeans, just some stretchy jeans and some little sandals on, and it's great for layering. Pop a cardigan over the top, you can do that too. But really love this dress, love the top as well, and I really am keen to now make a kind of two-piece set. Maybe a sheer fabric would be beautiful. I may even make a midi length in this Martyr style Leela dress and make the slip for underneath, because sometimes you find that beautiful sheer, maybe a chiffon fabric, and you don't quite know what to do with it. This would be the perfect style for that, because you can then make the chemise or cami to put underneath it as a two-piece set. So loving this. Made the size 14, no alterations at all, but I did put ties on the back. I'll show you some pics of that. In the pattern instructions, it does tell you exactly where to place them to just sort of cinch in the back a little bit if you don't want it too sort of boxy. It gives you that really nice shape around the bust line. I think she's really done a great job with the drafting of this pattern, so very happy with this one. The next make I have here is this gorgeous Sewciety pattern Leon jacket that's actually in between a cardigan and a crop jacket. I would say it's a bit of both mashed together, because I've made it in this beautiful boiled wool from Darn Cheap Fabrics. It's a lilac, really, really pretty mauve colour. It's a nice lightweight boiled wool. It's actually got a bit of rayon or viscose blended through it, so you'll have that little bit of a lightweight, softer, maybe a little bit more draped than a thick boiled wool. Now, my thick boiled wool coat that I made back last month from beautiful boiled wool from Fabric Deluxe was a lot spongier and thicker and a lot warmer, so lovely for the cool weather. This is more of a spring weight boiled wool, and I know that Darn Cheap Fabrics do have quite a few colours. I've made another coat I'll show you as well here, but they do have, I think, a hot pink, the mauve, they did have a green as well, an aqua, and I think maybe they have a black as well. So really lovely weight to wear for spring and maybe for autumn as well. And that way, you know, you can layer, and it's almost like wearing a cardigan. But loved the overlapped raw edges of the Leon jacket, and the press studs. I didn't have the bigger ones I actually needed to have for the pattern directions did state a little bit bigger, but I thought these little silver ones would just do the job nicely. And having a little press stud there, I think it's really, really practical and easy to wear. The thing I love about this jacket is this gorgeous dart shaping you'll see on the shoulders, and you've got the lovely patch pockets on the front. I've actually rolled my sleeves up. I like that kind of 3/4 sleeve for this time of year. It's really practical. And when you purchase anything from Sewciety, you do get the little tag, which I love that as well. So this pattern was very kindly gifted to me from Colette at Sewciety Patterns and Fabrics, which I'm very, very grateful for. I love their patterns, especially if you haven't bought their paper patterns before. Head on over to their website and you'd have in a beautiful, lovely envelope, and then you get a whole booklet there to sort of look through your directions, and it's just really nice to use. But I love making this. And we'll definitely get the wear out of this through the spring months. How beautiful is that colour? Of course, a lot of you guys and myself are very addicted to the lilac at the moment. I love that it matches in with the orange and the lilac floral on this. I will be definitely wearing this together with a pair of jeans. I just think it's really practical. And if you're wanting to start off making a jacket and you want something simple, this pattern is actually really, really easy to follow. You've got the overlapped edges, so there's all raw edges showing there. So you need to use a fabric that doesn't fray. So definitely, if you're following the instructions and you want to do the overlapped raw edges, you must have a non-frayable fabric. So a boiled wool, even a felted wool, or maybe even a ponte would work well. Really pretty pattern. And of course, I have just about got one of every of Sewciety's coat patterns. I just think they're fabulous. They're really unique. They're very kind of chic and casual. Also, you can dress them up beautifully with a dress pair of boots. But I am on my way to having just about every coat pattern of theirs made up next year. Next winter I want to make their Richmond coat and also their London coat with the big hood as well. So that'll have to wait till next winter, but really love all of their jackets. The next make of the month is a beautiful cotton organic jersey top that was actually fabric was purchased from Nerida Hanson Fabrics. Now Nerida Hanson Fabrics have beautiful a lot of artists that they'll commission that do their fabric, they'll actually have their prints and illustrative prints as well. They do have a lot of Indigenous prints on there as well. And I love their organic cotton jersey because it's beautiful quality. The colour in this is just stunning. I decided to make the Pattern Emporium Hello Gorgeous top with the mid sleeve. I've made the shorter puff sleeves for summer. Loved wearing those, but I love the mid sleeve in that, and just that beautiful woofy kind of sleeve. I just think, yeah, is stunning. I used the V-neck neckline from the Keep It Simple Babe tee, which is another one of Pattern Emporium's patterns, and added that onto the Hello Gorgeous top. The Hello Gorgeous top does have a few different necklines. You've got this high and low scoop, your round neck as well, but I really thought the V-neck would bring out that kind of puff sleeve and really accentuate it. So really thrilled with the colour of it as well. Yeah, I made a size 16 in that. I didn't want it too clingy, being an organic cotton jersey. It has got a little bit of cling to it, but a really nice body as well that you won't see every lump and bump like a lot of rayon jerseys do. I'm going to get out of this rain. It's starting to pour now. You'll see, yeah, I'm getting wet, so I'm going to come back to you in a minute. So I've moved under cover. Hopefully that rain's not going to annoy you too much, the pitter-patter on the tin roof. It does sound really nice when you're trying to sleep, but maybe not so nice when you're listening to a vlog. But anyway, we'll soldier on. Okay, so talking about the Nerida Hanson fabric, of course, the Pattern Emporium top. Love how it came up. It's a really, really pretty pattern. Very feminine kind of puff sleeve. Yeah, have got your different lengths there to use as well. So I'll say this would kind of be like at the mid, past the elbow. There's one that's above the elbow and one that's actually quite short. But yeah, really, really happy with how that's come up to. It's a really beautiful pattern. I wanted to show you my beautiful pride and joy behind me, this lilac tree. When I first purchased it, it was this tiny little tree. It didn't flower for a good few years, and I decided to move it in a sunnier spot, and now it's coming out the most amazing flowers. They smell like just the most perfume, really old-fashioned perfume. I love my lilac tree, but I love the colour of the flowers. I think it really ties in nicely with the theme I've got going here for this month. So I hope the pitter-patter of the rain is not affecting the sounds too much, but I'm going to keep soldiering on and show you what else I've made. So heading on from the beautiful aqua blue floral Nerida Hanson fabric tee from Pattern Emporium. This, which is also linked below, and I do have affiliate links for Pattern Emporium patterns. If you haven't purchased before, I'm sure you're going to love the adaptability and the mashability of their patterns. They're fantastic for changing sleeves and things like that. And you can see how easy I changed the neckline from one pattern to another on that. It's very, very easy to do as well. So I decided to make another Pattern Emporium Hello Gorgeous tee with the same sleeve. This is in more of a rayon, I think, stretch jersey fabric. It's quite a lot lighter, a lot drapier, and a little bit see-through, but it's lovely on. I still like it, but I really think the Pattern Emporium Hello Gorgeous Tee comes up much better in more of a body to the fabric. So the cotton jersey, I think it just handles it beautifully. If you're going to do it in a softer drapier fabric, I'd suggest maybe sizing up around the bottom at the bodice so it doesn't cling too much, and you'll still get that beautiful billowy drapey sleeve. So a very different drape in the sleeve compared to the cotton jersey. But the round jersey, yeah, more of a soft drape, but yeah, you tend to get that clinging effect around the middle. For me, that's always a problem. I prefer to have something, if I'm wearing it firmer in the middle, I like to have a bit of body in the fabric. If you have the same problem with things clinging around the middle, think about using more of a solidy kind of body in the knit, like a cotton jersey, than a drapey round jersey. I think the drapey round jerseys are great for drapey styles, and I think that the cotton jerseys are a lot better for more of the kind of firmer fit bodices. And it's the same with the Adrian top from Friday Pattern Company. I made that in a lovely cotton organic jersey, and it's just stunning as well. I prefer that cotton jersey for that pattern as well. Now, a few people have actually asked where I get my tags from. This one is actually Queen of Dahlias, which is a really old tag that I had. Sometimes when I send the clothes to charity shop, if I've sort of worn them out or not worn them enough, I'll take the tags and reuse them because they aren't cheap to purchase, and it is great to repurpose things like tags. But at the moment, my most recent tags, the Dahlia Sewciety tags, are from the Dutch Label Co. And they were great because I actually sent them the image of my logo and it came back perfect. I'll show you this particular tag. This is my new tag from the Dutch Label Co. You'll see there. It's exactly how my logo looks. So really happy. And this particular dress is one that I've been meaning to make for quite some time. It's the Style Arc Melba Dress. This dress has been on my radar for quite some months now. I love style up patterns. This is the Melba Dress. Now I've made it in a lovely double knit, or you can either do it in a ponte or double knit. This is from Spotlight. It's a beautiful magenta color. Color is amazing. Loved the dress, how it come up. The style is just superb. Had a little bit of trouble with the facings because as per pattern instructions, you'll see it's a double lined bodice. The facing's actually the whole part of the front bodice. And it actually does say that if you're using a thick fabric like a ponte or a double knit, you may want to use a lighter lining for that actual facing. Now I had trouble because I had a pink color very similar to this, but it was a cotton jersey, and it just didn't have the same effect when I started to sew it together. I thought this is sort of wrinkling up and it's not got the same amount of stretch. It's not gonna look right. I wasn't happy with it. So I looked up a couple of reviews on this dress. A lot of people had the same problem with the double lined. They didn't want to do the double lined sleeve in a ponte. It's just too thick to wear. If you're using a lighter weight linen fabric, something like that would be perfect. You just go ahead and do the double lined. But I looked up someone else's review that said they actually decided to make their own facings with the facing pattern that they had there. They cut out the neckline facing and the arm facing instead of doing a full inner facing, and that worked really well. I was really happy with how it came up because I still had the same fabric then. I just cut the facing shape there to fit, and I actually used a fusible knit, fusible tape, like a Wonder Tape kind of thing to stick my facing in. I also sewed it to the seams as well and to the back seam. But you know, when you still feel it flopping around, sometimes those double knit tapes are brilliant for doing that, especially with the sleeve facings can flop in and out. Those Wonder Tapes are brilliant. Yeah, you can get them in knit form or in light woven form or in heavyweight, lightweight. It really depends on the fabric you're using, but I find that really invaluable, and you just press it in between and it really sticks quite well, and it still is good to stitch because it can come apart in the wash. You still need to make sure you secure it with some stitching as well. But I loved the Melba Dress on. I absolutely love the shape, that cocoon style. I think it's just perfect. It's one of those kind of dresses that feels casual and kind of put together, and also very chic at the same time, and very, very easily dressed up or down depending on the shoes you wear. The accessories, I think, would be perfect for layering. This dress, I think, would be gorgeous with a black, maybe roll neck top for winter months, and a black cardigan or jacket. But love it. The pockets, I do love the pockets. I think they really add to the style of it, but I think next time I probably would leave them out. Even though they're a real style feature of the Melba Dress, you'll see that those kind of inseam pockets are a real draw card to this dress. People do love pockets in dresses, but I'm not a huge fan because I find that they give me bulk around the areas that I don't want to be bulked up. I think you would still get the same effect with this dress without the pockets. It would still be beautiful on. It would still give you that lovely cocoon shape. The thing that I love about it is the back of the dress, the beautiful double pleats that give you that lovely shape and off the yoke. It's just such a really unusual design. And the sleeve, I love that grown on sleeve. Yeah, just such a beautiful style. I'm really, really happy with it, and I will definitely wear this for many years to come. It's one of those classic staples I think I'd have in the wardrobe, and being in a knit, I think it works really well to pop back with a lot of my knit garments too. Pair of leggings underneath, pair of tights would be great for you guys heading into winter. Yeah, definitely think about even making maybe a black ponte knit would be a beautiful staple in the wardrobe. But I would love to make one of these in a linen for the summer months. Rain's back again. It's just going to keep going. So I'm going to keep soldiering on. This is another beautiful make that I made from some beautiful fabric that was gifted to me from Darn Cheap Fabrics. Now look at this gorgeous vintage inspired rayon fabric. It is just stunning. There is another colorway in a red and kind of orangey color. Love that as well. It was a really hard choice, but I decided I love the pink. I'm just really into pinks at the moment. I just find that they make me feel good, brighten up the day a little bit, brighten up the mood, especially if you're still in lockdown like us here in Melbourne. You need some brightening up because it is very, very hard to get out of that rut of that. Trying to find the positives in every day is one way to do it. And also we need to have something to look forward to. And those spring, summer months, I'm just dying to get out and wear some of my new dresses. So this was a little bit of a hack. I love the My Sotagrow dress. I've seen on a lot of people and it's come up beautiful. I think I prefer it in a soft drapier fabric like this on me in particular. I decided to make the maxi version. So I've done the long tier with the frill around the bottom, and I've made it in a size 44, I think it was, because the bust fitted me just perfect. But I did make a couple of adjustments. I actually put a bishop style sleeve. Now the bishop sleeve is one I've kind of self-drafted. I've had a few other patterns with a sleeve similar to that and decided to just add it on there and go for it, and I think it's come up really, really pretty. The elastic around the sleeve I think is really lovely as well, and gives that very boho vintage look to the dress too. It's pelting down now. I'm going to have to come back to you. I'll just pause this and I will be right back. The rain is amazing for the garden, I must say. This is doing wonders because we need the rain. I've just done a lot of planting this week, so it's always welcome. And couldn't get more Aussie than the rain on the tin roof. I think a lot of people love tin roofs, and I do love it, especially trying to sleep at night. It really lulls you off to sleep. My Sotagrow dress, loved it. It's from Deer and Doe. Yeah, it does come up to a size 52 from memory, but I made the size 44. Yeah, no adjustments, but I did put side ties in. I added the ties in so I could bring cinching the waist a little bit. I think it really works well. But I love this sleeve. I know the sleeve that comes with it's just a normal little straight cap sleeve, but I wanted to make something more of a statement. And I think this fabric deserves that kind of vintage feel. I really wanted to make something that would just stand out and that have that drama about the sleeves, I think really sets off the fabric. The buttons I used were from Cloth Edits, beautiful little wooden buttons, and love how they've come up. They really tone in nicely to that kind of etching in the fabric. Would I make the ISOs again? Yes, I definitely would. I think it's a beautiful shaped dress. It's got the nice dart shaping as well there, so it's a little bit boxy but not too boxy, and you can also bring in with your waist ties that bit of more of a shaping as well. So I love this. I'll be swishing around in the garden as soon as I can, as soon as this rain stops. I think it'll be a perfect dress for spring, summer, and even autumn. So always think about things like pattern hacking and mishmashing and changing things like sleeves if you're wanting to give a pattern that you've made a bit of a different look. Yes, we are getting there. Rain, hail, shine. I'm going to make sure I keep bringing you my makes. The next one is a dress that I made. It's a McCalls pattern. It's the McCalls Martyr. Now, I do not remember the number. I'll pop it up here on the screen because I love having names, because that way I'll remember it, but I would never remember a 4-digit number. It's just too many for me to memorize. But I made it in a beautiful cotton lawn dobby, Swiss dobby dot fabric from Spotlight. Was really happy with how it came up. It was one of those patterns that when I was making it, I wasn't really feeling it. I think it needs a few little features that it didn't have on the pattern instructions. Things like the yoke, just that single layered yoke. I like a double layered yoke. I think it's a lot more structure, a nicer feel to it. You just had that single yoke, which is fine, but the burrito method, once you learn how to do it, it's really quite simple. The sleeve has this beautiful button tab detail, which is really nice as well. I'd love to see this in a more sturdy cotton fabric or a linen. This is quite drapey and quite thin, so maybe not the best fabric choice, but it's one that I wanted to make up just in some fabric that I had in the stash before I ventured into using maybe one of my more special fabrics. But in the end, it actually came out beautiful. I made a waist tie, like a belt tie, which was really simple to do, and yeah, love the length of it. Went for the greeny kind of colour buttons you'll see there. They were also from Cloth Edit. Now, Gabrielle does have the most beautiful range of buttons. Really, really pretty, unique buttons there. I think I'm all about finding a unique button. One of my lovely viewers did say that they are like jewels to add onto the clothing. So you really don't want to skimp on your buttons. Using a really cheap sort of nasty button can really bring down the look of a beautiful handmade garment. So think about using a lovely unique button, and they're not as expensive as what you think. Sometimes they can be a bit more on the pricier side if they're handmade, but it's always well worth having a beautiful handmade maybe resin style button too. And as many of you know, I am on my quest to find my perfect shirt dress. I will be doing a separate episode for all the shirt dress patterns that I've collected. I've had so many suggestions of you wonderful viewers, shirt dresses that you've made that you've loved wearing, and I do have quite a few to get through. I am going to try and make all the ones that I've bought, because I just think after seeing this on how fabulous a simple classic shirt dress can look, it really gives you the options to think about fabric. And I do love looking through, a lot of magazines, to getting ideas with clothing. One particular one I love looking at is just the Easy Buy magazine, which is a New Zealand-based clothing order website. And it does give me ideas. And I did see a beautiful shirt dress in there, and I just thought I could replicate that. I think it was maybe $160. And I just thought, wow, if I used a beautiful, more expensive fabric, I could still make that a lot cheaper and really kind of copy that design with one of the patterns that I do have. So that's the beauty of being able to sew. You don't always save a lot of money, but you still have the option to save a lot more than some of those designer brand garments. Once you start paying up towards, $300 for a dress, then you know that you can put a lot more detailed effort and craftsmanship into it than probably what it's been made, where it's been made. And sometimes you are paying for for a label, not always quality of fabric. So if it's great to know that if you're putting quality fabric into a garment or a dress and craftsmanship, and then you can look at what the dress is worth to you, then I think you'll always end up saving money that way. And the last make of the month I have to show you is one of my very favourite patterns of the month, and this is the Sotagrow Kayak Cardigan. This is one of Lindsay's tags. If you look on Sotagrow, you'll see she has her own little tags. This one's called Kiss My Sass, which is really cheeky. I love it. I love her labels. They're really, really pretty. They come in little tins as well, which is really unique and special. But the pattern itself was brilliant. I loved it in this another boiled wool from Darn Cheap Fabrics. This is the aqua colorway. I do have an episode talking about coats and jackets, or jackets that I love, and I'll link that if you haven't seen it, so you can go back and see this talked about in full detail. But very simple, very good beginner-friendly jacket. There is a sew-along that goes with it on Lindsay's website there, so it can hold your hand right the way through if you're too nervous about starting a jacket on your own. This is a great one to have that sew-along with. And my mum actually decided to make one exactly the same. She loved it so much that she made it in the lilac wool that I made the Tezudi Leon jacket. She made that in this the same size, which is great. So once her pattern's cut out, she will then use it and sew it up, and she'll know it will fit her really well. So that's the beauty of genetics sometimes, that you can actually share clothing, share patterns, and know that it's going to fit you well. If you feel the same size as a relative, as a daughter or a mum, it's great that you can do that. So I loved this jacket. The shaping's really lovely in it. The way it's made, it's got such detail. It's so simple. You can have it done in a day. Another one I've used the double, the tape, the bonded tape. It is great for the facings. So if you're wanting to do a stitch line and you're nervous about the fabric shifting and moving around, you can iron and press in that Wonder tape to get it all sitting nice and flat. And Lindsay did actually suggest to do that in the pattern tutorial, and I think it's worked beautifully. So by the time you go to do your stitching, it's already sitting nicely. It's not going to move. Done some buttonholes, and the buttons also again from cloth edit. Really, really pretty buttons. I love Gabrielle's taste in fabric and buttons is exquisite, so I can highly suggest getting her buttons. And it's a kind of jacket that you can really make look nice and casual with a t-shirt, or you can really smarten it up and maybe with a button-up blouse underneath as well. It can be made, this particular pattern is to be made in knits. So think about things like even sweater knits if you're wanting to make a more casual style cardigan. This is the boiled wool. You can make it in things like boucle, I think would work really well as well. Yeah, so even a ponte, I think, or a double knit would work beautifully and be very practical to have too. So that is the Kayak cardigan. I made the size extra large. The collar is really lovely. The way it is actually made with that snip out the collar is so easy. If you're scared of doing a jacket with lapels, this I think you're going to love. And you always can omit that snip if you want just to have a curved collar. She does give you directions how to do that as well. So yep, the pockets on the front, you don't need to put the pockets on if you don't want. If you're wanting patch pockets, it's a really simple style to do that. But love it on. I think it's one of those things that I will get the wear out of each year, because it's not overly dressy, overly kind of coaty and large and thick. It's just a perfect weight for me, because I will tend to grab those cardigan style jackets more than anything in the wardrobe. A fully lined big chunky coat for me is something that I won't get a lot of wear out of, because our winters are fairly mild compared to a lot of the northern hemisphere. The coldest it will get here in the middle of winter, you're looking at, most days is around 10 degrees Celsius. It'll get cooler, of course, at night and early in the morning. But to me, I think a big lined coat is something that I might want to make one and have one in the wardrobe. This kind of thing, I could have a million of them, never have enough, because I love having all the different colours and varieties there. So having those two wool things for the month, yeah, beautiful to wear. So a big thanks to Darn Cheap Fabrics for sending me this gorgeous fabric, and also to Lindsay from Sotagrow for the pattern, which I loved making and I love to wear. So what did you guys think? What was your favorite garment? Please let me know in the comments below what you've liked that I've made. So what have you made for September? I'd love to know that as well, and what you're making maybe at the moment, what's inspired you. I love hearing all of your comments. A big thank you to everyone that comments every week too, because those comments, I just love replying to those. Sometimes it might take me a couple of days to get back, but I try and always get back and have a bit of a chat to you all, because it really connects us that way. And also there's been a fantastic lot of comments about the A0 printing episode. I will be bringing out my next Sew Talk episode to talk about everyone's favorites A0 printing companies, where they get them from, where they've loved ordering their prints from, because that way I think word of mouth is the best way sometimes to find that information out as well. So I'm back to it. I've got lots of things on the go for October. It's yeah, hopefully we'll get that nice spring weather coming, and I can wear some more dresses. I'm all about the dresses at the moment. I just love making dresses. I've enjoyed making a couple of jackets, but my love is in dressmaking. I just think I could have a million dresses and never have enough, and I think that's what you guys love seeing as well. From what I've seen, you intend to enjoy those dresses and that dress inspiration. So keep well and keep safe and keep sewing, and we'll chat very soon. Bye for now.